I've been having a problem with my fan here. I can't remember if it's, Dometic. I had switched these out last summer because I really rely on this fan even more, so it goes up and down just fine. Sometimes that little screw gets a little messed up, or loose, but this one I tried to open last night, and look at that, bam. I know the mechanism inside is messed up because I had taken it apart before, so that would really mess me up if I had some serious weather. I need to be able to clamp that top down, so I'm going to take it apart and see what's up. Here's here's how it looks. Like I say, it wasn't just a loose screw here, so something's going on up there. I seem to remember having to take this off, so I'm going to grab these two screws right now and remove that housing. I mean that thingy there. Okay, so I removed these two screws here, and now I'm going to take this thing out by moving that over to there and popping it out, so I can take a look at the mechanism that seems to be broken. Also good to know that if this should ever break in bad weather, you know, that I can just tie this thing down in here somewhere in an emergency to keep that thing down. I always worried about that one. Anyway, here's the thing now. I'm going to take a closer look at what's going on with those two, you know. So I took apart the other one, and this thing stays there when you unscrew the handle. And this one here keeps unscrewing for some reason. I've tried to jam it down tighter before, but it keeps coming out. So I'm going to try to screw it down tighter one more time, and I don't know. Let's see. Okay, this is the mechanism that lifts up the fan, right? So this thing, when it's inside there and you screw it left and right, it raises and lowers the crank. But it relies on this thing, these threads, to be tightly stuck into this section here. And then there's this little shim that has to be small side facing this way. This part goes on here, and this part with these two notches goes on like this, and then this all has to screw inside here. And this thing can't come undone like that. So I degreased all these threads with Dawn soap, all right, and then I'm going to try to get some Loctite to put on these threads, and then jam that in as tight as possible so that it doesn't come out. And then if you ever have to grease this thing, you would do it from the top here, all right. You would only grease the crank here, and try not to get grease like I did before probably. Try not to get grease on these threads here because it kept coming out. So that should fix it. I'll be right back when I get the Loctite, and if I don't get the Loctite, well, we'll see what to do after that. Okay, putting it back together now. The shim, tapered side down. The threaded thingy goes into this thing. My video's mirrored for some reason. Anyway, I'll fix that. Screw it in, and then I'm going to tighten the shit out of it. By the way, these tweezers tend to work great to tighten those two things there. So I'm going to just crank the shit out of that thing and see how it holds now that it's all completely dry and no grease on it. Okay, we're putting it all back together. This thing goes in there. It hooks into that. Right there. Okay, now you can see that that thing is in there nice and tight, and that should do it. I don't think I'll need the Loctite now because I cleaned those threads off so much. I'm hoping that thing will just stay in there. Anyway, even if this thing were to snap off and leave me open to the weather, I found out also that you can just close this thing and, you know, tie something from here to here temporarily to keep the thing closed. In those big winds, it's an issue. And here we go, and this is actually performing quite nicely now. We'll see how long that lasts for. Nice. Just got to screw this thing back in now.